Following is an example of a job interview conducted using the video call function of Skype. The interviewee is waiting for the call to come in from the prospective employer at the pre-arranged time. Consider as you watch what goes well and what could be improved in the interview. Is this overall a successful interview? There's the call. Hello?
Hello, Ed. Thank you for being available on Skype for an interview.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
I'm just wondering, Ed, if I can ask you a few questions so that we've got some idea of what you know about Broadreach International.
Absolutely. Okay, well, I've had a look at your website and I've obviously gone through the position description. So it's my understanding that Broadreach International is a large and independently owned corporate services company, and you have offices in every capital city of Australia. Is that enough?
Excellent. I'm glad you spent some time on the website and doing some research. That shows initiative and forethought. Well done.
Thank you.
I wonder if you can tell me a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, I think the most important thing is I've just recently completed a Certificate 2 in Business Administration, and that's basically given me a nice skill base from which I would like to begin my career in that area.
That's great. Look, talking about skills, what do you think you can bring to this role specifically?
Well, as mentioned, with that Certificate 2 in Business Admin, it's basically given me foundation knowledge in most of the processes that are required to run an office, and particularly in a receptionist role. So I've been given a solid foundation in how to use the technological tools and communication tools. So from computers to telephones, faxes, photocopiers, and all of that. And I've also been given a pretty good grounding in policies and procedures and just what the basic requirements of office environments entail.
Excellent. That's a great skill set for this role because, as you've mentioned, nowadays things are moving into a more technological base. So once upon a time, Skype interviews would have been considered totally unacceptable, but now it is something that we do as a matter of course. It saves all of us time and energy. What do you think that your strengths are?
I see that I have initiative, I work well under pressure, and I have a calm demeanour, and I work well as part of a team.
Excellent. Teamwork's very important, and I can think of no more important role than a receptionist because you're dealing with a wide range of clients for all of the people within your team. So teamwork is always important. Can you perhaps tell me what you think might be your weaknesses?
I was wondering whether I might be asked that question. It's a difficult one, but it's one that I've given a lot of thought to, and in all honesty, I believe that sometimes I try and do too much. I try to achieve too much, and in doing so, don't actually fulfill any of the things to the level at which I was wanting.
And that's a good answer, and I think probably a lot of us are in the same position as you in terms of taking on too much. I just wonder, have you ever thought about how you might be able to turn those weaknesses into strengths?
Yes, I have. To me, the capacity to reflect upon weaknesses is the first step that needs to be taken to turn the weakness into a strength. Without the capacity to acknowledge what's going wrong, there doesn't seem to be much hope in turning it into something that can go right. So, does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. I think so long as we're aware of it, as you stated earlier, then we can think about strategies on how to actually plan our work and prioritise our work so we get the best out of it. And in some cases, maybe even delegate it. I wonder, you've spoken actually about teamwork, and I can't tell you how important I believe that is. But quite often when you're working within a team, you will find conflict arises or difficulties arise with another co-worker. I just wonder if you can tell me about a time when that actually happened and how you resolved that situation.
Sure, absolutely. I feel like the potential for conflict often arises, and there's been several tense moments that I've encountered at work. Difficult for me to single anyone out, but what I can tell you is the approach that I take in those situations is to engage with the person rather than to start getting sort of caught up in who may be right and who may be wrong. It seems more important in a work environment, especially to just honestly engage with the other person and find out whether there is actually an issue, and to reveal whatever issue that I have, and basically relinquish the need to be right in the situation. Isn't always easy, but it seems like it's really necessary if you're going to get to a position of being able to satisfy some mutual agreement.
That's an excellent answer as well, because I think quite often when conflict does arise, it's perhaps got its base rooted in miscommunication or misunderstanding. So it's really important, I agree, to find where you're both coming from and see how somehow or other you've ended up at different points. I'm just also wondering how you might go about a task that you didn't actually know how to do. For argument's sake, you've been asked to place a large stationery order for the company. You've just arrived, you're not sure how to do it. How would you go about that?
I feel like the only way to go about that really is to reveal that I don't know how to go about it, and to be willing to ask for assistance from primarily from a supervisor, failing that from someone else with the experience to know how the task is done.
Excellent, and that will always get you help. People always help when they know somebody is struggling, especially in my team. I see in your resume you're a keen bike rider. Can you tell me why you enjoy that?
Sure. I feel that physical activity is really important for me. Keeps me feeling fresh and energised, and both in my physical body and also my mind. And one less car on the road feels like it's a good thing. So it's a good physical activity to engage in.
Excellent. I wonder if you have given any thought to where you might be in 5 years from now in terms of your career.
I have given that a lot of thought, because that's what had me go and do this further course of study. I want to work in an office environment, and in 5 years' time I'd like to think that I'm working in a position of greater responsibility than the one that I begin in. So maybe, hopefully, management.
Excellent. Well, that's good. We quite often have career paths open for workers who are keen and show initiative, so that's something we can discuss later on. Can you tell me why you would like to work for Broadreach International, please, Ed?
When I read the PD and when I investigated your company through the website, I just liked where you're coming from, and just feels like it's the perfect entry point for where my skill base is at the moment.
Excellent. Have you got any questions for me?
Yes, I do. I gave some forethought to this, so thanks for asking. I'd like to know if I was offered the job, when I would begin.
If you were offered the job, and we'd be able to tell you on Friday, we would really like you to begin within 2 weeks. Is that possible for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'll definitely be ready to go in 2 weeks.
Excellent.
Could I ask another question?
Yes.
What would the hours be exactly?
The hours in this particular role are 9 till 5 o'clock. You have 3/4 of an hour for lunch, and you have 2 10-minute breaks in the morning and the afternoon. The salary is the award rate, and I believe I sent that to you when I emailed you to ask could we have a Skype interview, so you have those details.
One more question. Just wondering whether there's any room for advancement in the company, or this is a double-sided question actually, and whether there's any chance of training within the role.
Yes, in both cases, as we said earlier, we have quite clear career pathways identified when you begin, and we work with you to decide where you might like to go and how you might like to get there. So, for instance, this is a very large organisation. We have numerous offices, and we have many receptionist admin roles within that, and some of them have increased roles and responsibilities and duties. So if you are interested in extending your experience in that particular area, we could work with you to decide how that might happen. And if that involved further training, indeed, we could also facilitate that.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Well, I'm very enthusiastic, and I really appreciate the opportunity for the interview.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you attending this type of interview. We know it's difficult because it's unusual, but we appreciate your time, and we will get back to you, as I said, by Friday, and let you know how successful or whatever you were.
Thank you very much. I look forward to that.
Thanks, Ed. I appreciate it too.
Thank you, Vicky. Bye-bye.